the uproar on social media right now. It's crazy. It's crazy out here. Let's go ahead and get into it. Young Miami versus India Irie. Well, I really don't think it's a versus because I could tell India Irie is just, passionately just trying to get her thoughts off about something that's been heavy on her mind for a long time. And I don't really feel like Young Miami is getting punches, but I feel like Young Miami is made an example out of. Now, what we are talking about today is the impact, the influence of music. And this is a very important topic to me because I actually posted months ago saying a video, in a video, just taking a walk down the street when I was living in Houston. And I just had a thought to my mind because I was listening to the Fall Off by J. Cole, and I just had a thought in my mind. It's like, wow, music is so powerful. And this is such an amazing album. Um, Even outside of with today's landscape of music, we have music that touches on drug abuse. We have music that promotes hypersexuality, infidelity, violence, putting your hands on people, uh, and so on. We came a long way inside of hip hop. I can't say that. We came a long way. I remember when hip hop first hit the scene, we did have some music that touched on violence, but it was more like empowering and like taking the microphone and making this ugly situation your own, with like NWA or empowerment like Unity, Unity by Queen Latifah. And I just think of like all these songs when I think of hip hop. And when I think of the peak of hip hop, I think like J. Cole, I think um Kendrick Lamar. I do have to put Nicki Minaj into that conversation. But the list goes on. Now, I really love this conversation because we're finally bringing awareness that music is so much more deeper than just entertainment. Music is a frequency. Music can be medicine. And most of all, besides love, I feel music is the most powerful uh, frequency. Now, let's go ahead and get into it. So, everybody is talking about Young Miami and India Irie right now, but I actually think people are having the wrong conversation. The conversation shouldn't just be about one song. The conversation should be about music itself because music is one of the most powerful forces on earth. I've been saying this on my platform for a long time. Music is medicine. Whether we realize it or not, every single day we are prescribing ourselves something through what we are listening to. Like I said, you guys, I had this deep realization. After I had my son, I went through a period of, I was like, do I need to go to therapy? And I was like, no, I don't really. I kind of talk a lot. I talk to myself and I talk to God. I was like, I kind of talk to a lot. Um, and then I discovered something called frequencies, like hertz. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but let me know in the chat if you guys ever heard of this. But it's like HZ, it's hertz, and they get the sound bowl right, and they just like get a stick and then they go into the sound bowl right. They could either go more intense or they could go slower, or even the type of sound bowl they have, the pitch changes a lot. So it was at that moment I realized this is powerful. Music is just music. Music is just sounds. We don't really care what the words are saying. Sometimes, sometimes the words make an impact, but most of the time it's just how the song makes you feel. And with that sample, I started playing with different numbers. I don't know the numbers by heart, but I think it's 340. Um, is the most powerful one. I believe that's the one where just really calms your nervous system. It really puts you at peace. Or if you put another one in, you feel more clear, like your thoughts are more clear. And that's when I realized, I was like, this music we are listening to has a very deep impact. when I was listening to the fall off, I instantly went into a healing mode. I felt seen, I felt heard. Um, yeah, I felt seen, I felt heard, and yeah, like I felt inspired. I felt like I need to reflect on my life, like, and I just really felt the impact. Now, when I thought about all the other music that dropped at the time, I remember WGFT by Gunna dropped at the same time. And I didn't listen to that music, but of course it was just, whoever I was around, they were playing it. And I said, "What is this?" And then I had a moment of realization to myself, like, "Oh, this is these are spells. These are spells. Music is not just entertainment. Music is spells." And oh, y'all, I got so much to talk about. If you guys love this, please leave a like, leave a comment, and everything, because the stuff that what I'm talking about today is what I really care about. Like, I really care about social, social issues, environmental things, and spirituality, and um, life and humanity. Like, I really care about these things, so it's very easy for me to talk about. But spirituality, I feel like, well, now I'm seeing a rise in people being more aware on social media that this is all just a spiritual experience. I feel like since the beginning of our time, when we hear music, we think like, oh, it's just fun, it's just music. Or we see a movie, it's like, oh, it's just a movie. When all actuality, it's just coming from a real place. Even with movies, let's use movies as an example. I started watching this podcast recently, and the saying they have is "it's all in the movies," and I love that saying because it made me realize the more that they have these conversations, it makes me realize, wow, everything is in the movies. Like, they kind of tell on themselves if you just believe it. And I think that's the funny part about everything. I have to go ahead and put some laughs in there because we just have to believe it. We just gotta believe it. But yeah, I'm talking about Gunna here, and I'm gonna go into the next thing about believing. But with Gunna, it's even the beat. Take the words out. Let's take the lyrics out. Okay. When you hear me say that, because that's what the beat sounds like. What does that feel like to you, just alone? You might say it feels captivating. You might say it just sounds like something surrounding me. It might say it's something my soul feels like it's being pulled up. Listen, you guys. Music isn't good just because of the lyrics. It's about the way it makes you feel. I could go on and on, y'all. Can I go on a tangent real quick? But I even think about words, right? Like the English language. We didn't come on this earth at the beginning of time speaking English language. We were speaking a whole bunch of gibberish. We were speaking Latin, okay? And with this gibberish, the only way whoever was on this earth, y'all could say Jesus or whoever, but whoever's on this earth, they understood that gibberish because it was the way the gibberish made them feel. If somebody said, like, you'll be like, what's going on? What's happening? What's going on? What do I need to be careful? Oh shoot, somebody's coming. Like that's all they gotta say. But when you just pay attention to the feeling of the music and you just take the lyrics out, y'all just got to do the math, okay? Well, what I'm saying is, I like Gunna, okay? I think Gunna is super talented. I think Gunna is a great artist, but this is deeper than Gunna. This is deeper than Young Miami, y'all. Like, musicians are making music for y'all to do some. They want y'all to do some, okay? There's a reason why that song sounds captivating just in the beat alone. Let's go ahead and bring in the lyrics. We're getting effed tonight. 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 We're getting F tonight. We're getting F tonight. You're getting F tonight. We're all getting F tonight. um, yeah, so this is serious, y'all. I'll leave this text message. Call you right back. Well, whenever that comes in. Um, call you back. Um, what I'm saying is that let's just to me to speed this up a little bit. But what I'm trying to say is, y'all, effed. Like I understand, the sexual experience and how it's fun to people, but as you get older, you realize that these things are sacred. And it took me a long time to come to that realization. But it took me getting married, honestly, to realize that this stuff is not a game. When you are having like the sexual experience, you are inviting other people's spirits inside of you. You're swapping spirits. And when you're doing that with multiple people, you're swapping spirits. And let's be real, a lot of people are not happy these days. So you're swapping spirits with a bunch of people that are lost, confused, and unhappy. And then you wake up one day and you're like, why do I feel so heavy? Why do I feel so dark? Why do I feel so depressed? Well, you done slept with a bunch of unhappy, lost, confused people. And when I hear the song "We're Getting F Tonight," I talked about this on my talk show recently, and I was talking about my experience of being in the club, and the song came on, and it looks like everybody's faces just turned into like, I don't want to say the word. There's got to be a nicer word that I could say besides demons, but it was very demonic like. Like I'm talking like eyes getting big, eyes getting dark, tongue like slithering out, like people moving in weird ways. I looked around the club cuz I wasn't drinking really. I looked around the club and like everybody's just like humping each other. You got everybody just humping each other, like men humping men, women humping women, everybody humping each other. There's nothing wrong with, like the community or anything, but you don't this probably wouldn't be happening if the song wasn't on, and also the alcohol wasn't even flowing. Like this probably would not be happening right now, and who knows if what they did when they went home and probably woke up the next morning regretting it. Like these things are not, these things are not just coincidences. But I just want to talk about that song alone. Like I was surprised that there was no outrage about that. Like I really don't know what it's going to take for people to start taking things more serious. And this is coming from somebody listen, me, I have a very unserious past, okay? I'm just now starting to get to a place to where I can even speak on these things and not be hypocritical. But I came a long way, just like me becoming a mother and me going through my hardships in life and just trying to find myself and finding my specific outlets or finding my voice. I found that just a lot of things are just very damaging to our world and to our culture, to the Black community to be specific. And I just can't hold it in anymore. But I'm very happy that music is started to become a subject because it's so much behind it. Like, look at the video I did about Clive Davis and his passing, and like how I was talking about the the downfall of celebrities and how they lose themselves within their record contracts, and they end up sometimes losing their life, taking their life, and going to some type of drug addiction. But all of these things tie in together, and it all comes back to what? It all comes back to the music. Music is God given. I wasn't there, y'all. And as mixed as I am, I know my Black history enough, okay? Even like, within slavery, like when they show us those depictions or those videos, you see just our ancestors out in the fields singing to the sun, singing to the sky about freedom. Music is empowerment. In church, before they even start um the I always forget the word. um My daughter just got rejected from something. She, she's okay. She likes to go out in the pool. Girl, you cannot go in the pool. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. And I just gave you a bath last night. Um, but even before, the church or the pastor, talks about what they're talking about that day or the sermon, um, they go into they go into music before they go into prayer. But the reason why they go into music, and the only reason I know this is because I've been practicing like my own little church on my Sunday. But the reason why they go into the music is to set the tone. Okay, if we're coming, usually when people go into church, they go in for healing. So they want to set that healing tone before they go into the sermon about healing. Your spirit is already taken away from the song about healing. We're all gathering around girl. We're all gathering around hold on, let me go get her. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. So yeah, so like I was saying, they do that to set the tone because they want people to leave healed. Um, that's just what they want. And so I say all that to say is, why don't we take music seriously? Like, why don't we treat music like a medicine? Because that's all it is. And let's be real. In radio, okay, because I've worked in radio. All right, I'm not gonna give too much, but I worked in radio. All right, did I sign an NDA? I don't think I did. I'm gonna say this: the music that is in rotation, those songs were not magically put there. Okay, this might be obvious. Some people might be not, but those songs weren't magically picked. Okay, these are songs that perform. Okay, from or forced to perform. Maybe, okay. Um, so what I'm trying to say is they could really feed you anything. They could feed you whatever. And this isn't radio because it doesn't end there. It all comes to something bigger. But whatever that thing is, because I think it's bigger than just labels. But they could feed you whatever they want to feed you. So you need to ask yourself, what am I being fed and how does it make me feel? We need to have these conversations with ourselves. What am I being fed and how does it make me feel? I'll tell you one thing. Um, I I never really liked mainstream hip hop. I haven't liked it for a long time. I haven't liked it since maybe my middle school years. And then in high school, I discovered J. Cole, and that was basically, it was all different from there. I got opened up to several other things. But yeah, I really never cared for like Chris Brown and stuff. Like I had like my moment, like I was into that stuff for a second. Then I was like, after a while, like, once you get exposed to, oh, sorry. Hold on. Okay, my son being here, that's fine. My daughter, and it's not fine because I don't even think she got a damn shirt on. But yeah, like once you get exposed to stuff of real substance, um you start to lean more towards that. But I didn't realize that my childhood was like, oh, I was being fed some bullshit until I got on, until I got into the real thing. Um but yeah, so music is medicine, and that's all it is. And you just need to ask yourself, how does it make you feel? Chosen, come here. Come here. Yeah, you need to ask yourself, how does it make you feel? Don't be touching my microphone. Um So yeah, so when I think of this India Irie and Young Miami conversation, that's what my brain goes. It goes to something I just always want to talk about for a long time, but I don't so a lot of things that be in my mind. I don't feel like people be ready for it, because like I said, I did a post on this. I did a reel on this months ago, and I guess I don't know. I don't know much how much longer I want to play it safe, but there's things I've been wanting to talk about, but I've been censoring myself because I don't want to, be canceled or, just like whatever. But so India Irie, let's talk about what was said. So this is via Billboard. The headline reads, India Irie isn't a fan of Young Miami's Spin That. Everything you listen to, this is a quote from her, everything you listen to, see, or hear is going to influence you. The Grammy winning singer replied to a post on Threads calling for people to boycott the song. Now, India Irie, I follow her on Threads. She has said multiple times that she is not trying to she's not trying to boycott. She didn't chosen. She didn't say nothing about boycotting. But I wish there was a way I could pause this. Let me just keep going. But she didn't say nothing about boycotting. She she's just saying like just just what she believes. And hey, I'm right there with India Irie. I'm right there with her because whether we realize it or not, every single day we are prescribing ourselves something through what we listen to. Now, some people wake up to worship music. Some people wake up to lo-fi like me. And some people wake up to drill music. I've had my moments too. Some people wake up to songs about revenge. Out here looking for revenge. Some people wake up to songs about heartbreak. I've been there as well. And even if we don't intend to have a psychological experience, we end up having one anyway. M- Music affects our emotions, okay? Music affects our emotions. Like I said, y'all, I was listening to that Hurts music. While I would feel sad and thinking about things deeply and feeling things deeply, and all of a sudden my brain will go blank all because of the music. So imagine, so if that could do that, imagine what a lot of these hip hop songs are doing. So it affects our memories, it affects our energy. It can calm us down, it can make us cry, it can make us feel fearless, and it can make us angry. Think about it. Y'all, I remember I used to watch Bad Girls Club when I was a teenager. Um, Chosen. Hold on, one more time, y'all. One second, one second, one second. Dang, I feel bad for whoever's watching the video version of this or even listening to the audio version. But hey, listen, we're just trying to get our thoughts off, even if we are mothers. Okay. I should have done this video a lot earlier, but no, I'm not. I'm lying because my son woke up. He's been up since like 5 a.m. just screaming and crying because he just wants me to hold him. I'm like, I'm asleep though. Like I'm sleeping. And yeah. So but anyways, so yeah, it can make you angry. Now think about it. This brings me back to when I was a teenager and I used to watch Bad Girls Club. Like every time the show was on, I was angry. I was just angry, and I remember my dad used to pick on me when I would watch Bad Girls Club. Like I don't know, it was weird stuff, y'all. Like I'm not gonna say the parenting was not the best. Okay, it was not the best. Because looking back at those times, like I'll be like, why you talk to me like that? Like me being a parent, I'm one day gonna go through something to where I see my child doing something that I don't feel is good for them. I'm not gonna make fun of them. I'm not gonna, I'm trying not to cuss now these days, but I'm not gonna like on them, I'm not gonna talk down on them. I'm gonna be like, hey, like, be careful with their spirit. You are blessed. Like encouragement, like you are blessed. Like you do not need to be watching these women do these things. Okay, these women are not inspiring. Like, talk to me about it. Like as a like, it's so crazy. Like I was just never a fan of the parenting like in my life. Like as a kid, like as a kid, like I knew it was horrible. Like but now that I'm an adult, it's like it makes me even more angry because I don't know. Like this is a random. I don't know what parents be thinking, y'all. Like I don't know what parents be thinking. Like do they think them being verbally abusive or mentally or emotionally abusive to their children? Do they actually think that makes them better? And that's why I thank God I'm a communications major. Going to college, you're getting your bachelor's of communications. You realize a lot, and a lot of things is just unnecessary. And most of the time, when people do dumb stuff like that, it's just because they're uneducated. I'm not saying that my parents are uneducated, but they don't know how to do talk. That's all you got to do. Talk if you are a credible source. No, this isn't that much of a off topics, because I'm seeing a lot of people say like, "Oh, it's not about the music; it's about the parents." Like, or the parents are letting the kids or listen to this music. That's all that matters. The kids cannot run away from it. It's on the radio, and then they go to school, and then they got the kids singing these songs. Like, I remember when I used to be in middle school, and there'll be a hot song or whatever, and the kids are always singing a song, and in order to be like a part of the tribe, you would have to know the song or sing the song as well. Like that's just how it was. Like let me know in the chat. Give me a thumbs up if you know what I mean when I say that. But they cannot escape. So parents could censor all day, but they can't escape. And like I said, a lot of these parents have a terrible way of communication. They don't know how to communicate. Hey, like, child, this isn't good for you. This, listening to these songs could really influence you one day to do these things. It's Don't like take these things more serious. Music is medicine. Like we didn't like a lot of these parents do not know how to communicate those things, so they end up um just abandoning like that child in that way. So no, I don't feel like parent censorship is enough. Like there needs to be awareness, there needs to awareness of this, and it starts here with this story. So movie directors don't spend millions of dollars on soundtracks for no reason. They know music changes how we experience a scene. The gym plays certain music because it changes your intensity. Y'all, that music they be playing in Chipotle. that Pandora sounding music in Chipotle. Yeah, like that's not an accident. Like I said, and that goes back to why I'm glad I'm a communications major, because we learn these things. Like this is all marketing. Like this whole world is a marketing scheme. You go If you're going to your Walmart, right? And all they do is play country music, and this is coming from somebody that comes from a Walmart where all they play is country music. Y'all know I'm from Virginia, Tracy, VA, right? They only play country music in those Walmarts. But when I went to Atlanta, they playing hip hop music in the Walmarts. And then I had a realization. I was like, oh, it's the demographic. Even when I worked as a social media coordinator, which is a position under marketing, they would make us put hip hop music because I lived in Atlanta. Don't be putting on none of that. Don't be putting on that because our audience is black. They do these things on purpose, y'all. And I feel like everybody in this world should be equipped with a communications degree. I swear, like it's the most shitted on degree, but it is the most helpful in all aspects and understanding people, understanding things, and being able to spot marketing and being able to spot when you are being programmed. I had media studies degrees, programming. Television is programming. It's called programming, the program. So are you being taken over the program or are you controlling your program? These are conversations that need to be had. So stores play certain music because it changes how long people stay and shop. Now, military organizations have used music through history. Religions use music. Sports use music. Music has always been more than entertainment. So why do we suddenly pretend that music has no influence when it comes to the music we consume every day? Now that's where the Young Miami conversation comes in. First, let me say this. I do not dislike Young Miami. I have to say this. I do not dislike Young Miami. She's an Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius too. We have a lot of similar traits. Okay? Um, but a lot of the ways that she is today is the way I was when I was in my 20s. Like I'm 31 now. I believe she's 33. I understand everyone moves on their own time, but I think Young Miami is beautiful. I see a lot of myself in her. I think she's funny. I think she's a ball to be around. I think she's charismatic. I think she has the it factor that entertainment has always rewarded. And I would just want to say, like, she's gorgeous. Like, putting on for um, black women. We've seen in the media how light skinned women has always been like, the thing. And like, I love to see, I just love to see it. Like, the Keke Palmers and Tiana Taylors and Kelly Rowlands or Young Miami and JT. And I like to see like these representations, like, like I just love to see it. And I feel like Young Miami is one of them. Now I'm going to say this, like I said, Young Miami reminds me a lot of my old ways. And it's crazy because Aquarius, right? Just a little background. It's like we're humanitarians. We can't run from it. We might, start out rotten, but as we grow older, we end up becoming activists a lot of the time. A lot of the time. We want to save people. We want to save the world and we want to save things. And Young Miami, I can tell she has that trait, from how I see her treat her children or her friends or her family. I see it, but I'm kind of, I don't want to use the word disappointed. But I can sense that Young Miami is not being herself. And the only reason I can say that because I'm Aquarius as well. When I was in my 20s, I had a ball, it was great, but I fell into the being in the club all the time, dressing in these very provocative clothes, and showing my body. Or I've been flown out once, and I ended up taking my ass back home because I'm just like I can't do this, because that was the soundtrack at the time, and I felt that was the soundtrack at the time. I felt pressured to do it, pretty girl, Atlanta, I got all this man with money wanting to, I want to go on vacation, she'll shoot, but I ended up taking my ass right back, y'all. I was like, this ain't for me. This is not for me. So, but I outgrew that though, and it took a lot. It took me falling and getting back up and realizing that this doesn't need to be me no more. So I feel like Young Miami is avoiding her truth. And Aquarius is we're really big on truth. I feel like she's avoiding her truth. And I know somebody might say, "Oh, Tracy, you don't know her or whatever." Like, please, I am. We might as well elect me as the president of the Aquarius Club, please. I see it, know it. We all just alike. Megan Thee Stallion, Young Miami, J. Cole, like Bob Marley, Oprah Winfrey, like Michael Jordan. The list goes on. We all, women, men, we all got a lot in common. Okay, I know what it is when Aquarius is not being themselves. I remember when the Saucy Santana interview came out on her talk show or a podcast. I forgot what it was called. I forgot what it was called. But anyways, the one that was on Diddy's platform, Revolt, and oh, is it by Carisha? I don't know what it was, but there was a point to where she started crying and she said, "I don't know myself anymore. I don't know myself anymore." And I really resonated with that because I know exactly what that is. Listen, if you're an Aquarius watching this or listening to this, when you come to a realization that you feel like you don't know yourself anymore, it's because it's time for you to change. It's time for you to let go all those things that you were into, the clothes, the music, the shows that you watch, the people that you hang out with, the person that you're dating. It's time to let go when you don't know yourself no more. And I'm kind of getting emotional talking about this because, damn, like, I wish I would have had somebody to tell me this when I'm going through this. But, and I don't know if anybody has ever told her, but it's time to let go. Um, and I understand, it comes with pressures. Like, listen, I was making all that money when I was in the clubs and stuff, but my spirit, like, it just wasn't worth the compensation. Um, so I say all of that to say is I feel like Young Miami has grown, or she's avoiding her. I feel like no, I feel like Young Miami is avoiding her growth. But I'm so proud of her for falling in the public eye like that and getting right back up with a hit song. I have to say, like, I'm so proud of her for that. You know, I was one of the people that was saying, like, I'm disappointed in Young Miami because I'm like, girl, like, you did what? You're doing what? Huh? Like, huh? Like, even like the whole thing she said about her son. Like, she said something like, if my son is ever gay, I'm gonna beat him or something. And then she gets on the podcast of Megan Thee Stallion and she's flirting with her, being gay. And it's it's confusing, it's just very confusing. And like I said, I just don't feel like she's being hurt. Like, were you just doing that to be cool? Were you just doing that to look cool? Are you talking about these scammers to look cool? Because listen, girl, you are not in the trenches no more. You're worth what? Like, my guess is like 10 million, maybe. Like, you're not in the trenches no more, so move on. Like, I know you could do so much more. I hear the way Young Miami talks about being a mother and having to hold all these things, and like, she has like so many inspiring things about her. I don't understand why she continues to take the ratchet route, the club hopping, the men scamming, get the rich man. Like, there's more to life, and this is coming from somebody that knows that life, and it's worse. Sometimes it's worse. It's no different. It's no different. It's no different. It's just that they got money. That's it. But the things you got to deal with, it gets really dark. Anyways, yeah, Diddy. I see why people are attacking Young Miami for making this hit song about these toxic subjects, because with the whole Diddy situation, and also she's a woman, the world thinks we're easy to be picked on, especially when we're mothers. I get it. But this is deeper than Young Miami, okay? Young Miami is not the only one. I'm surprised y'all let Sexy Red get as far as she did. Like, I like Sexy Red, I do, but the music, it's like we're still celebrating this. I mean, let me say this, y'all. I recognized the formula, and I recognized this when I was maybe in high school, because there's popular kids, right? Something I realized about the popular kids is that they were shameless. The more shameless and reckless you were, the more popular you were. And that's because when you're popular, the word popular is majority, right? Majority of the people in the world are low vibrational. The majority of people in the world are insecure. Majority of people in the world do not like who they see when they look in the mirror. They're insecure, whether they come from a bad family, whether they got family relationships, whether they're the girl in the friend group that never gets picked. Whatever. Like, majority of the world is insecure. So you become popular because majority of the world is not happy with themselves. So I understand why music like Sexy Red, music like Young Miami, music like Cardi B, and so on. I understand why these people are so protected because, well, they give those people a safe place to be like, well, damn, my life ain't that bad. Let's get even more, let's get even more ratchet. Let's get even more insecure. Let's get even more crazy. Like, I get it. But I was having a conversation today on Threads, and make sure y'all follow me on Threads, okay? But I was having a conversation today that um, somebody said, with the issues in the Black community, Tracy, why are you blaming music when this is systematic? Politicians and the government. Okay, I said, that's probably true. But when are we going to start saying no? We're the trendsetters, right? We are. We are the trendsetters. We are the consumers. I don't have no chart, but I know damn well Black people are really the things that make things go round and round and round and round and round. Okay? And when are we going to take our power and start saying no? Start saying no to these things. This music about gun violence, this music about drug abuse, this music about hypersexuality, promiscuity. Like, when are we going to stop? Because these are real things that are terrorizing our communities. Um, right now, um, there's a 13-year-old girl right now having a lot of sex because she don't got no mom, no daddy, no nothing. And she's having a whole lot of sex. And she's getting pregnant because she turns on the music and it's Cardi B telling her, I got that, wah, 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 I got that, da, da, yeah, yeah, bust it open, yeah, like, oh, she thinks, oh, I'll be happy if I'm 13 and I go to get a BBL. I'll be happy when I start moving if I start selling my body, if I start dressing more provocative, if I start acting more promiscuous, I'll be liked. I'll be popular. These men will like me. When it's the God honest untruth. It's a lie. That's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. Like, I was honestly shocked when we see all these women in the mainstream or in social media or whatever. They got the BBLs, they got the body, they got the money, they got everything, and yet they still get cheated on. Like, I don't know why people. It doesn't, like, granted, you can't run away from being cheated on, but that doesn't show people that, hey, this stuff don't matter. This don't matter. It don't matter. And that's something big I want to talk about before I get out. I gotta go beat my kids, but um that's something big I want to get out. I realize in the Black community we don't take things serious enough, and also um we like to make facades, like fantasies, that, oh, if I'm this drug dealer, oh, if I'm this, my life is gonna be, mansions and good life. Oh, if I'm a baby mama and I got this man and da da da, I could go be social media famous. And people's brains are really doing that. Okay, they're really doing that. And I like to watch. Like, I like to watch, and I like to, my pattern recognition is on 100. Like, I like to watch, and I see it. I see it, y'all. Let me be real. I dated this one guy, and his father was a was I don't want to give it away, but he was very well known, okay, and he had a lot of money. But when he died, the guy that I dated, he had no money. He had no money, and he was miserable. He had nobody to help him with nothing or nothing. And I was stupid enough dealing with him. You know, I'm my past, stupid ass past, okay? But people always want to talk about the highs in our community, but they don't want to talk about the ending. Like, dang, yeah, your dad was lit doing all this back in this time, but your whole bloodline is probably cursed because that one person did all this, brought these substances to these communities and whatever. Like, um, these are real things. These are real things, y'all. But I want to come back down as I'm closing out this podcast episode. But y'all, it's deeper than Young Miami, okay? Why do we continue to choose these soundtracks of our lives? When are we going to start praising music of inspiration, encouragement, strengthening faith, um, staying strong through the darkest times, not feeling alone? And I don't mean not feeling alone like toxic ways, like what are they called? Toxic bonds. I forgot what it's called. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Cause let's be real. A lot of the music that we like in this world is not because it encourages us or makes us better. It's because it's a trauma bond. It's just a trauma bond. It makes us feel like we're not alone. I love Future, okay? I love Future. I do. Like as a person. Now, I don't like his music, but I love Future as a person. Like I love seeing a black man get paid at the end of the day. I love it. I love a black man being an icon. But I've recognized that a lot of these men want to be Future because they're hurting inside. They're hurt that they don't have love. So they feel that with everything Future fills it with. I don't know if he's ever been on other substances. I don't know. Maybe I heard music. I don't want to come out and say it, but um, they Future feels a lot of his music is about women. I flew out this bad bitch. I got this bad bitch. Yeah, I got this bad bitch. Yeah, I'm checking on a bad bitch. Like I'm just making up lyrics at this point. Like that's all I hear when I hear Future's music, and then I'm gonna go get high. So men that love his music, they don't love his music because he encourages them. Yeah, let me get up and go get married and go take that woman I got pregnant serious and go change my life. And no, they think, oh, if I do these toxic behaviors, if I do these toxic behaviors and I get comfortable in that, and just I can be just like Future and get paid, and I'll have women. As long as I have women, I'm good. Y'all ever met a man that gets a lot of women? And there goes my daughter. Um, I really hope y'all are fast forwarding with every time I pause. But this is the last pause, and I want to go ahead and close this out. Um, but I understand, and this is a very sad closing, and this is a very sad thought I want to get off. But as much as I want to change the world, I found that a lot of people aren't there yet. And that's honestly the most depressing thing in my life. I don't really get sad over anything, but I do get sad over seeing people hurt themselves and not and blame it on this, that, and this when it's really right here, you know? Um, Stop being programmed. Stop letting people program you. Stop letting these people program you. These people, they want to see us fall. They want to see us sad. They want to see us fall. They want to see us damaged. Stop acting like these people are not watching. Stop acting like they want good for us. They don't. They don't. It's like the workplace. Like, you ever had like those coworkers that they're so nice. Oh, they're so nice, and they do something to you. Well, damn, they're just doing their job. They're just doing their job. They don't actually like you. They're, the facade, like they're putting on the face. Like, treat the world like that. But when it comes to us, when it comes to us, I feel like we need to start taking these things more serious and and go get back whatever we are losing or whatever we have lost. Stop letting them take our story and stop letting them take our ending. But I'm gonna go ahead and say this. It's not even really about Young Miami, because if we're going to criticize one artist, then we have to be willing to have the same conversation about the entire music industry. Um, and that's all I have to say is, like I said, I love Young Miami. As for India Irie, she has brought us songs like Video, I Am Not My Hair. When I was 5 years old, that's when India Irie hit the scene. And I just remember just her music making me feel so good inside, so seen, um, just so seen and so beautiful. So I wouldn't even attack India Arie on that. She's always been like this. But maybe she's just like me, and she's just now has the platform to say this or say how she feels or say these things. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and head out because I gotta go be with my kids. I'm probably gonna go take them on a walk. But if you are somebody that stayed through this entire episode despite the pauses, y'all, this program I got, I need to figure out if there's a way I could pause the recording. I don't think this is like OBS to where you could pause, unfortunately. So I had to just like take off the video camera, turn off the audio. But if you're somebody that got all the way through, tell me what your favorite part was. Um, I really want to hear your genuine thoughts on this. Um, I know to some people this might be a lot because they're like, dang, Tracy, I didn't know you care about things like this. But yeah, that's why I was going in on that whole Young Miami topic, because I'm one of them people that I know what it's like to be let the world force you to play small and not be yourself, or that you don't have a voice, or you don't, or this is just too much. I'm okay with being too much now, and I want to start talking about things like this more. But make sure to hit the subscribe button wherever you're watching. If you're watching on Substack or YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram at Tracy VA Media. And once again, this is the Tracy VA Show, and I'm going to see y'all next time.